always the same in your letters to me. A thought conceived without a care. You cut into me so cruel and so cold, and the pain it brings makes me feel so old. We had a dream to be in love, to be in love. It fell apart, we fell apart. So tell me, who will dry your eyes? 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 Will dry your eyes. And when I feel you're slipping away, I chase the distance on your lonely face. I close my eyes, I try not to recall all of the joys we felt before. We had a dream to be in love. It fell apart. So tell me, who will dry your eyes? Who will dry your eyes. Who will dry your eyes? Who will dry your eyes? Will dry your eyes. Who will dry your eyes? 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 Will dry your eyes. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Of living in oblivion. Of living in oblivion. So dry your eyes.
Oh, it's not frozen. Ah, what the F? So, sorry. I'm laughing at myself because I've had the room set up for mastering and mixing, which means, well, here, let's see if I can show you over the visuals here. Wait, hold on. All right. As you can see right in front of me, there's a screen. That's my monitor. It's been moved so that it's a little bit easier on the eyes while I'm working these long hours. And what I forgot about that was that the cameras were behind the monitor when the monitor was pushed back against the wall going that way. So right before the thing started, I panicked. I had to move all the cameras, rushed. So every camera is in the wrong position except for the one that's on the ceiling. Yes, there's one on the ceiling. But yeah. Oh my gosh. So everything's off balance. As you can see, I'm like supposed to be over here, but camera's in the wrong spot. And I actually don't think that this one's any better. Yeah. Now I'm like under the desk. Oh man, it's all messed up. Are any of them right? Oh, this one's better, I guess. All right, we'll go with this one. We're going to have to go with this one for the night, for a while. Oh my gosh, so funny. So, yeah. Hi, and welcome to the stream that has absolutely sometimes goes completely nuts and is not really that scripted. It's not. I have some ideas about tonight, but oh, it's all crazy. It's crazy. The interwebs have been a little nuts today. And not in a terrible way, but just enough. So we're gonna kind of play it by ear, so to speak. But so the track that I opened with was it was an old version of Who Will Dry Your Eyes, but it actually had no vocals. When when I started the stream, um, I did it live once on this stream without the little tidbits at the end. But last week I had so much fun on the stream that, believe it or not, the minute we signed off, I stayed on in the studio for just a little longer, and I started to set things up for the mastering sessions. And this track without the vocal was sitting on a folder. So I thought, why not? I pulled it up and I sang a few tracks, a few vocals to it. So this was recorded technically last week, right after the stream, which was fun, to be honest with you. So, because again, this is what I do. This is what I'm really about, is to be creative. So anyway, yeah. So what you heard was a non-finished vocal in progress, some version of a mix. Who knows where it will turn up? But yeah, that's Who Will Dry Your Eyes. And the settings that I kept were literally the settings that are on this mic right now, that from last week. I changed very little, to be honest. But anyway, it is trying to eat my head. So thank you, Herb, for the advice. Thank you. And thank you for being here, by the way. While I'm at it, I know I didn't say hi to everyone, but hi, Stephen, Olaf. Hi, Don Summers, Mai, Constantinos, David, Wendy, Arturo, Hidden Souls in the house. Yes, Farmacia's in the house as well. I love when my Argentine comrades are in the house. Peru's represented. Lalo's here. I saw Max up there. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for joining me this evening. That's going to be the weirdest one of all because, well, first confession time. I didn't make the deadline. I tried. I did everything I could to get that deadline, but it wound up becoming a blessing in disguise, including the migraine in between. Let me explain why. So I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but I might as well get the news out of the way. So, yeah, I had a migraine for a day and a half, and they're not fun. But at any rate, what I was doing was, in that fit of migraines, as you know, from last week, I started playing around with SMPTE timecode and going back to the old ADAT tapes, trying to access the vocals that, for whatever reason, I was drawn to this particular folder, and kind of drew me in, wound up with a migraine. Then I was in bed for 2 days, and I was trying to get back to the 12-inch. There was no real reason for me to be revisiting these tapes. But something happened. I got the sync to work, and unbeknownst to me, and this is how I think the universe works. Thank you for that. I think that when you set out to create things, Provenance steps in and helps you out. And that's really what happened. And then, lucky for me, not only was I able to get the vocals to sync, but I got them to do something that I am quite proud of. And I found something odd, which I'm going to let you download for absolutely nothing. And I will post that after I play it. It's a snippet of something. And it was on that folder, and I thought it's funny that, I don't know, that maybe you guys would like it. So what I'm going to do is just link it. You can download it, have fun with it. It's yours. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I've just posted the links to all the tickets. Anythingbox.com is live. And as the intro states, today we're going to discuss AI copyright and the blockchain. Very specifically about copyright. So that's kind of like what we're going to discuss in between the stuff that we're playing here and whatnot. And as we're playing stuff, If you have a request, you can drop it in there and maybe I'll find it in the folder and I'll play it for you. But without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? So I did not get to go to the NAMM show because I didn't have passes. If you don't know what the NAMM show is, it's when all the major retailers and synth manufacturers and guitar people and drum people, all kinds of people from the music industry get together and you get to go see the new stuff that's out. I wasn't able to score a pass this year because you got to have a pass to go. You can't just pay for a ticket. It's kind of silly if you ask me, but anyway. I couldn't score a pass this year. And I couldn't use any clout because I don't think I have any clout left. Claude with no clout. Bad joke. But anyway, I was able to tune into some of the keynote speeches and whatnot. And one of them kind of caught my eye. And I decided to really listen in on this. And it kind of formed some opinions as to what I'm going to talk about tonight. The keynote was human-driven content creation versus AI-driven content, with the imperative to define, label, and protect artistic originality. Now, all seems well and good so far. You know, wow, we're going to protect the rights of musicians. We're going to protect, you know, copyright of the content. We're going to try to figure out if AI scraped it. That's part of the talk. We're going to try to figure out if AI sampled something from somewhere else to create a song for artist B, you know, that kind of stuff. And all is well and good until they got into the real nitty-gritty of copyright. And it seems like this issue of copyright is coming up over and over and over again. And what I see a lot of is all these lobbyists trying to abolish copyright in the name of equity, meaning let everyone have the stuff. It doesn't matter if they make money from it or not. Who cares? Most artists, and this is stuff that I heard on the keynote, most artists aren't going to make any money from their stuff anyway. So I think it would be a better idea, they said, if we started to just let everyone just take what they want. We're going to see more content creation. We don't have to be, quote, gatekeepers of copyright, and the whole world's going to be freer and more equity and more equality all around because everyone gets to use everything for free from everyone. And, you know, we'll figure out the monetization part later. And I was like, no, not later. Now. We need to figure it out right now. And one of the things that bothered me, I can't see your chat because I'm looking at my notes, but I will switch over to the, you know what? Hold on. Let me make a separate. There we go. Now I can see the chat and my notes. Yay. So, are you guys still having problems with the internet over there? But, so while I agree to some aspects of this idea that it should be easier to secure content if you want to use someone's stuff. Like if I want to write a song and use a sample from someone, there should be an easier way to clear it. Okay, I can live with that kind of idea. But the idea that that creator doesn't have rights over the content, not so much. And this comes a lot from the technologists who work on AI because it is in their best interest and in the interest of the corporations that they represent to get this content for free. And the problem with that is it would be fine if the content was free and then the tool itself was free to use for everyone in the world, and that I could make high resolution images and audio and stems and all that great stuff without paying for it. Because obviously, if you're going to use my content to create this stuff, then why are you charging other people to use the tool? Do you understand where I'm going with this? You can't have it so that the content people, the people who created the drum loops, the people who created the vocals, the people who created the guitar sounds, they can't be excised out of the money pool, but you get to charge $100 a month to use the AI to use that same material that you're not paying for. That is not acceptable to me. That is not going to work. And then there was a guy in there, which I thought he was kind of funny. He was there from the Library of Congress. And no offense, dude. Clueless. Completely clueless. And this isn't going to get better. So I decided to do a little bit of digging on my own about solutions, because what we need are actions that the creators can take from day one, meaning today is day one, not tomorrow, today. Like, what could you do today that would secure your copyright, affirm that you are the creator of said thing? How do we go about it? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm going to get into tonight. And while we're doing that, we'll listen to some music along the way. So, anyway, I'm going to play a song because I'm going to try to keep the talking to limited time so that we don't like go crazy with me just yapping away. Herb on YouTube says there needs to be a policing mechanism to handle the claims. Absolutely. The funny thing is, though, it's not so much the policing of the copyright, because once you file a lawsuit against someone for copyright infringement, you know, you're going to have to go to court. The lawyers are going to have to, you know, they're going to have to get to it. The problem is the proving of provenance, and we've discussed this before with art. The proving of the provenance is where things get sticky. And when we get back, I'm going to explain how that's flawed and how the blockchain can help, starting right now, at this very moment. So anyway, let's play a song. And let's see. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll do the moonshot. That way I can chat alongside with you as I look at my notes. And anyway, it's an oldie. The Great Divide.
Soldiers are marching across the divide, going to war, their feelings inside, justified reasons that no one can see. The world that we knew is so coldly displayed. Moving on across the road, find your way to me. Moving on across the road, find your way to me. Children are running away from the fire that spreads itself out inside our hearts. Do you remember that place in your dreams? Dancing in gardens and faces serene. Moving on across
You're going to notice that some of the songs that I picked for tonight have subtexts, fire and wars and all that good stuff that humans do. Ah, humans. The problem is we are driven by greed. Obviously, humans want to protect their family. Obviously, humans want to feed their family and they want the best for their families. But sometimes the cost is really high, man. By the way, I have nothing against wanting to be rich or wanting to have property or, do the things that you want to do. But there's sometimes when you have to step back and look at the overall picture. This is one of the reasons why I never wanted to join the corporate world in any way, shape, or form, is that I don't get it. I don't understand it. So anyway, so this is what I was seeing in the comments. So yeah, humans are greedy, and greedy humans make for terrible corporations because it makes everything worse. So, by the way, happy birthday, Denise. Denise gave me this. She gave me this. This particular one. I love it. See, I'm wearing it, Denise. Your gift did not go in vain. But thank you. But so anyway, so there I was listening to this thing, and something really dawned on me that I wanted to re-verify for myself. And once I did this, I got some good ideas as to how to keep provenance. When I say provenance, I mean how to prove that the work is yours. And there's a lot of ways of doing this. So I'm going to explain this in the layman style so that those that are not in the music industry can understand. Typically, and this is a law, when you write a song or you record a song, the minute that that song is set down to tape or on your computer or on your phone, it is considered a copyrighted work. Now, it gets a little hazy from here, but let's go with it for a minute. Basically, if I sing you a song and I just hum it to you and you're listening and you decide to go record a song from it, you did not steal my copyright. I hummed it. I didn't get a chance to record it yet. Even if I said the words out loud and I sang them to you, it's still not a copyrightable event. If you went and registered the song, it's yours. This is how it looks at it. It looks at when was the thing created and when was it set down. Now, the problem with computer files, of course, is that you can use a bunch of different programs to change the date that something was created, so that you can make it earlier than the other person. So, we're talking about the minutia of it. But the bottom line is the copyright that I'm talking about has nothing to do with me being afraid that someone's going to hear the melody of the song that I just wrote that I played right before the stream. And oh my God, someone might take it and record a song with it. That is not what I'm worried about. What I worry about is the idea that a corporation can scrape my entire site, take every sound that I ever made, take every song that I've ever recorded, and create an AI version of me that then they can use to put out stuff because, hey, his stuff sells, so this AI version of him will sell, and we don't have to worry about copyright. That's the stuff that worries me, because we are not proving provenance. And so I got into this subject a long time ago in the stream when we were talking about, for example, art. You have to be able to trace it back to the artist. I think the same goes with songs, but I think using the Copyright Office at this point is tired and you don't even have to do it. That's the reality. So let's take a typical case. Let's pretend I record song X, right? And I do not register it at the Copyright Office, but a file of song X is sitting on my hard drive. along with the handwritten lyrics in my journal, and a social media post that I have on X that I made the minute I wrote that song. I wrote a song called X, and here's the words. All right. Johnny Come Doofus comes along and decides he's going to steal my song. If that went to court, I would probably win, because the court would surmise that A, there's a file with the date on it, there's a social media post with the date on it, there's a comment by, Johnny Doofus on my post, which means he probably stole the song from that point on. Therefore, the judgment goes to me. So when it's between folks, it's a little easier to figure out where the thief is and where the creator is. You don't need the Copyright Office for this. Sorry, throat is scratchy. I need sleep. So yeah, that situation is semi-easy to solve. Where it gets weird would be if a corporation did it. If, let's say, a Sony Music or a BMG or somebody like that put an AI version of that song out, and now I have to prove it. Now they can say, well, on the same day, we have posts, we have the lyrics, we have all this stuff, and we're a huge corporation with 100 employees that will vouch that this was the day that it was done, and it might not be true. But I would lose, because now I'm fighting a corporate giant with money, and I'm also fighting, dare I say it, a way of getting around the rules that don't apply. And this also applies if you send stuff into the Copyright Office. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's a form called Form SR. Hang on. You know why? Because I actually have a copy of it right here so you can see it for yourself. If you ever wanted to know how copyright works. If you ever need a copyright form, I just posted it. There it is. You can actually fill that out. So when you fill this form out, and let's see if we can get it on the screen. Uh-oh. Did we lose the interwebs? I lost the chat, you guys. But the interwebs seem to be fine. Ah, that sucks. But, so I can't see your comments now. But here's your basic Form SR, just so you can see what it looks like. So, yeah, that's not what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So that's Form SR. And this is where you fill out, for example, when you made these songs, when they were recorded, the title, where you live, all these great little details that you think are going to help you secure your copyright. It's all these nice things that you find to fill out for Form SR, right? So you fill this out, and supposedly when you send that in, it'll get put into a database with the Library of Congress that says you are the author of that work. Now, there's a big problem with it too. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. Obviously, I'm saying if you can afford to do it to every piece of music or art that you do, you should. But if you can't, then it gets a little sticky. And the other thing that gets sticky, sorry that I'm talking so much, is that when you send this form in, it could take up to 3 to 4 months before it gets registered into the system. And they're so backlogged that it's not that easy for them to look you up. So you kind of have to do a lot of legwork to find out if the song is finally registered. And I have some friends who are in bands that are always like, well, I refuse to play it out live, or I don't want to record it until I know for sure that it's copyrightable. And I'm like, the minute you copyright it is the moment that you recorded it. That's the truth. However, if we want to take this a step further, yes, you want to fill out Form SR. But do you have to? Couldn't you do it another way? I thought of something today that's a little bit of rule breaking, but that's just my style. I like to break rules. But it dawned on me that I could do the following. I could fill out Form SR, and I could mint it on the blockchain. I could mint it into Tezos, into a contract that I call copyright. And every time I write a song, I fill out a Form SR. I upload it immediately into the interplanetary file system, and I mint it into an NFT. Now, I have an immutable, unchangeable record that I did what I said I did, meaning I wrote this song, these lyrics. And I can go further. So if you ever go on Object, you're going to notice that if you're on Object and you know what I'm talking about, it's blockchain at this point. Now we're into the blockchain here. When you put something on a blockchain, the transaction, the contract that you made when you minted the piece is immutable, means that no one can delete it, and it stays on a global ledger that anyone on the planet from any government can see. They just need the link. And my feeling is we should be using this technology whether governments adopt it or not, meaning it becomes our way of doing it that would hold up in court. Because at least in court you would say, I have an immutable, can't be messed with by Sony, UMG, or anybody else, not Disneyland. Nobody could make this file disappear. It exists on the blockchain. If I said I made it on January 27th, 2024, that is the date it was made. Not only that, the lyrics are there, the audio is there, everything is there that they need to check. There is no corporation that would be able to stay is not the right word. There's no corporation that would be able to win such a lawsuit because the blockchain is immutable. Further, we could use something else to ensure that such a thing would be immutable, would be to mint it into different places or two places at once. And I would argue that the blockchain is what the Library of Congress needs to adopt. They need to make a site, basically that's almost a duplicate of object.com, where you would upload all your work, fill out the SR form, mint with your wallet. It's in there, done, registered. And that's it. First come, first serve. If I did it, it's my work. If the next guy or the next corporation says, no, it's actually ours, too late, buddy. It's there. It's on the ledger. It happens within minutes. So there's no reason not to do it. Not at all. So sample clauses. Yeah, we'll talk about sample clauses in a minute. We'll talk about sampling a lot, actually, when we come back. Because sampling is very dear to my heart, and I love to sample. I don't typically sample records anymore. Not saying that I wouldn't, but I'm not the type to go after records anymore to sample. But I understand that there's a lot of people who love to chop up samples and make records from them. Sampling is a different topic altogether. Yeah, Tony on Facebook, I am actually telling you the truth. Yes, NFTs are exactly like that. They're immutable. In fact, the one I'm going to talk about next when we come back is really crazy. And I think it's time that everyone gets educated on the blockchain once and for all. I know I talk about it all the time, but I think the copyright issue will definitely pull us in the right direction with regards to the blockchain and NFTs. Exactly. Herb says, he said it right out the gate. Core is too expensive for small indie creators. Yes. However, protecting your rights is not that hard. It's not as hard as you think. So funny. Unless you're a Pepsi and they say you're giving away a fighter jet, Don Summers says. That's funny. Anyway, let's play a song. Here we go. I'll let you figure it out. Shit, it broke.
Isolation 99. Is there nothing such as divine? Are you afraid? Yes, you are afraid. Isolation 99. Have we lost all sense of time? Are we primitive? Teach us how to give. Isolation 99. When you came here from beyond, everything was wrong. Everybody's in. Isolation 99. Have you witnessed all the crime just for being you? For our point of view. Isolation 99. Isolation 99. Isolation 99. Will you leave us all behind? Isolation 99. Isolation 99. Isolation 99. Will you leave us all behind? Isolation 99. Will you leave us all behind? Isolation 99.
Hey, it's not frozen. But it's all wacky. I have to be like over here for you to see me. Look, I could talk like this. That's so funny. Oh, gosh. Oh, man, my favorite camera, too. Could it be fixed while I'm... Oh, I don't know. Should I risk it? Screw it. The worst that could happen is it's going to freeze. Better? Oh, it's better. I don't know. It's going to wind up staying this way now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. From some record or other. But thank you. Thank you. There's this whole other band I could be in where I'm just a singer and I have just 3 people playing with me and it's like, and I'd be totally okay with that too. So anyway. So yeah, I went back to black and white. Black and white. So I want to make this clear that we're going to get into sampling in a second and all that stuff because I want to talk about that too, but I want to make sure we don't miss the boat on what I'm really talking about here, which is intellectual property. So when it comes to sampling, yeah, sampling's been an issue with everyone for the longest that I can remember. If you're going to twist my arm and have me talk about sampling, I will say this. In the early days of sampling, it was very creative. People took snippets of tiny little pieces of things, chopped them up, and created entirely new songs from them. I think that form of sampling was the way that I think of as collage. And I think that collage by its very nature is cutting out bits and pieces of things from magazines, pasting them together, painting on top of them, drawing, and you've got something new. So the fair use of samples is that if you create something completely new that couldn't exist without the other part of it, the court could deem that it's an original piece of work, despite the fact that it uses this tiny snippet of something. Where sampling started to get into trouble was when some, well-meaning people decided to start sampling an entire verse of a song and pass that off as their own original song and not give any royalties to the person that created the original song. So when that started to happen, and I would say that would be in the late 1990s, well into from there to about 2008 is when it was at its heyday of like everyone going crazy with it, where the lawsuits were flying left and right about sampling. It could be argued that, yeah, you stole half the song to create your song and you didn't credit the person. That got changed. Nowadays, if you're going to do that, I'm not talking about kids on the internet, getting away with like making $5,000 on a record that they release independently, whatever. I'm not going to care. Nobody cares. I'm talking about if you're a major artist, let's say a Kanye West, for example. Let's say you're Kanye West and you want to sample something from Cheap Trick. I know, odd combination, but it's what came into my head. But let's say that that's what you want to do. You're Kanye West, you want to sample Cheap Trick. The typical way of doing it nowadays is you go through a clearinghouse. Kanye's people calls Cheap Trick's people. They say, hey, we want to use your sample. They say, sure, it's going to be 10 cents every time you use it, blah, blah, blah. Cool, they make the deal. Contract's made. Done deal. Nobody's stealing from anybody. It's on the radio. It makes millions. Nobody cares. Those are not the issues I'm talking about, because those issues can be resolved with contracts, and very specifically smart contracts. Again, an example of this would be if I put a beat up on object.com. It's a great example because I've not seen people do it, and I don't know why they don't do it. But let's say that I put a beat up and I say, I have this beat that I think would be good for a rapper. I wouldn't use it for myself, but I think it's really good for a rapper. Well, it's easy. I put it on object.com. I say that only a 1 of 1 is available. That means that only one person can use this beat legally. And if they buy it from me, let's say for, I don't know, let's just say 100 Tezos, which is about $100. Let's say that that's what I do. The artist buys the beat from object.com. The royalty split is built into the NFT itself, which means that wherever that goes, I'm going to get paid for it. Sounds good to me. So there's a lot of different things where the blockchain is helping with royalty splits that don't have to be handled by humans, the greedy ones or otherwise. So that part of it isn't the part that's concerning me so much. Where I see these talks going is the idea of getting rid of intellectual property altogether, which borders on something a little bit more insidious in my view, which is that creatives don't have the right to make money from their wares, and that everything they make should be free. I never believed in that. Even though I come from the era where the MP3s came in and took out CDs and everybody was mad, I wasn't mad. I realized it was new technology and we had to adapt. So we learned to adapt. I don't know. Vox Kardashians? Ooh, that would suck. That would really suck. I know. Don Summer says, Pharrell and Robin Thicke got in trouble with Marvin Gaye family in this way. But you know what's funny about that particular case? I honestly don't think that a semblance of something, like, let me put it to you this way. When it comes to that case, I really don't think Pharrell and Robin Thicke should have had to pay. I really think they were in the right. They were just echoing a song without sampling it. They never sampled it. They just wanted to have the essence. So in that sense, again, I don't consider that part of the whole intellectual process. I am talking about the real property. Who owns it? When I die, who handles all the works that I created, and who can prove that I created them once I'm dead? That kind of stuff. How do my children, how do my acquaintances Like how do they deal with the copyright issue? So my viewpoint is that the blockchain helps with this a lot. It helps with it tremendously. Um, and I'm going to give you a real concrete example. One that I did recently as an experiment, and it worked, and it was wonderful. Um, so I need to show you an example of something. So I'm going to show you another interesting example of blockchain. And for those of you that don't understand NFTs in the true sense or value of an NFT, I'm going to teach you something today that you've probably never heard before. So, dollar bill. There it is. So, as you know, inside of this dollar bill are 100 pennies. Basically, I could take this to the bank and get 100 pennies, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, however you want to do the math. But it has coins attached to this. So, wouldn't it be awesome if somehow I could store my copyright or my art on some part of this dollar so that when this dollar gets deposited into an ATM or it gets given to someone else, no matter what, you would be able to look up some portion of this paper and find the artwork that I registered and embedded into this particular dollar bill. Okay? Think about this. A dollar bill with something inscribed in it that says, on this day, so-and-so put or set aside one of those pennies to register a piece of art. That's what this could do, right? If it was immutable, but it's not. Totally isn't. I could lose this dollar. I could rip it up. I won't. Not that it has any value. But unless, of course, I rip it up and paint it and do some weird shit to it, then it has value. But anyway, I digress. Oh, shit. I said digress. Damn it. If I use that word, I have to take a sip. But no, in all seriousness, think about it. If I could store a piece of art on a dollar bill somewhere, and I did it. You don't want me to overdo it now. But yeah, if I could do this, it would be great, right? Well, you can't with a dollar bill, but you can with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, you can do something known as an inscription, which basically means that you could store a bit of information on a Satoshi, which makes up part of a Bitcoin. And for about $9, you could inscribe that with information, a text file, if you will. And what that would do is, again, it puts it on the blockchain. It puts it on a ledger that any government can read at any given moment. You would have links to when the inscription took place. You would have links to where all the computers that validated that transaction, and you would have the text file itself that would give you information. Now, I did try this, and this is what it looked like. If I can pull it up. Uh-oh. Can I pull it up? Shoot. I lost it. So weird. I lost the thing I was looking for. There it is. All right, let me put on the capture here so you can see it. It's loading the image. So this piece was painted in the back of a book, in the back of a piece, in the back of a Hope 30th anniversary book. And this particular piece, if someone got that book and won that book, they were going to also get an inscription on the Bitcoin blockchain. And I did that. And someone won it. Alfonso, I don't know if he's listening, but Alfonso won this. And you can see that right there, I put a link into the other object thing where people were able to mint their own NFT and all that. But I wanted to make sure that everyone knew who the owner of that was. So what I did is I inscribed it into the Bitcoin blockchain, and there it is. It tells you exactly who owns it. It tells you, also has the link inside the inscription that leads back to the drawing, which is my wallet. Okay. It has everything you need to know about that object. Who owns it, when it was set into stone, even transfer history, which shows that I sent it to him right there 3 weeks ago. And it even has an inscription number. And if you click on that, by the way, the inscription number, that's what you would see. And that is literally a piece of money that has an inscription built into it. That is a very, 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 very good use of Bitcoin Satoshis. Because now, not only does Alfonso have the physical book, he has basically a representation, a penny, if you will, of Provenance on the Bitcoin blockchain. And it's worth whatever that Satoshi is worth. So if he wants to transfer it to someone else, he could sell it for money or whatever. But what he can't do is erase it. He can't erase it. I can't erase it. A government can't erase it. Nobody can. The world would have to explode into a fiery ball and be obliterated with no internet for us to ever not see that inscription ever again. It will always be there. So he knows. Thank you for listening, Alfonso. I'm happy that Alfonso is actually listening. The person who won the book is actually listening. And no, we did not plan this. But the idea here is that now that art is stored, it's stored somewhere where it's safe. And if an issue of copyright ever came up and someone came out of the woodworks and says, that's not real, he could prove that it is. I don't even have to be alive for him to be able to prove it. He could prove it by just showing the inscription on the blockchain. And this is what I'm getting at. Anything that you create, you could be inscribing into the blockchain right now, today. You don't have to wait for the Library of Congress. You don't have to wait for any other entities or sites to pop up to do this. You could do it yourself, your own way, picking your own blockchain to do it on. You could do it with Tezos. You could do it with Solana. Those are cheaper minting options that are on really amazing blockchains. So anyway, I'm going to play a song. When I come back, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how we would achieve a copyright inscription using Tezos, Solana, or ETH, or any of those things. And I really think you should try it. You should try it with a song you write. You should try it with a piece of art you make. You should try it with that poem you wrote. Just try it, because it's not going to hurt you. And I think that when people see that this is something they can do DIY and do it themselves, I think it'll show the world at large that people do care about their intellectual property, and you should care about your intellectual property, and you do have the right to make money from your intellectual property. It's important. So anyway, let's play a song. Shoot.
years ago, she shook my hand, I said hello. It folded as I crumbled. I don't know why all the rains must always fall onto me. There are colors in the sky we cannot see, I do believe. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. Heaven is the only way to fade. And so I told myself I'd have to find my way across alone. There are no reasons why. Just then the birds that flew all took me in their wings, and then I knew everything is surely something. My father died, never knowing what it was, and it was plain. It doesn't matter what you do or what you say, just sense the pain. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. Heaven is the only way to fade. So when I shut my eyes, I cannot wait for the replies from her. I'm sure she'll understand that after all the time is gone, I'll know I'll live my life in full, as great as I can be. And in the dream, the girl reached out into the night. We flew away. I asked her if she had any old regrets that made her stay. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. Heaven is the only way to fade. And she said, heaven is the only way to. Heaven is the only way to. Heaven is the only way to. Heaven is the only way to fade.
The truck keeps messing up. I'm gonna try it one more time and see if I can do it without falling on my ass. See, it came up again. It's weird, man. I must be just getting heavy as shit. Maybe I'll just stand up. I don't know. Stay up. It's a high chair. I don't know if you guys know that. Oh, there we go. Now it's better. Sorry. At least you know it's live. Yeah, that goes screwed up again. All right. I guess the chair has a bad copyright. Yes. Scott, thank you for that. But anyway, I almost said it. Screw it. I digress. I just wanted to take that one. Sunny Me Love says if I was going to take calls. Yeah, if you want to call me, if you got something to say, do it. Call. It's all good. If you need the number, let me pull it up unless you guys have it handy. Because I don't think I have it handy. Do I? Yes, I do. I do have it handy. Yeah, you can call me if you want. There's the number. You can try calling it and see if it answers or picks up. I haven't tried it in a while, so I don't know. It might not even be working. But yeah, you guys can give it a shot and see if it works. Meanwhile, I will tell you how I would, or I came up with this today as I was messing about, trying to figure out how would I do it on Tezos and what could I do. And I came up with my own convoluted way of doing it. Copyright. Inscription on Tezos, and I think it can be done very easily, and I think I'm going to start a collection called Copyright. What's funny is I can tokenize the copyright without giving up my copyright. That's the beauty of the blockchain. So I could make a token. So let me explain how I would do this. It's rather interesting. So I would start with the idea that I've just recorded a song. So let's say that I have a song and I just recorded it. And I want to copyright it. A DIY in the blockchain, but still maintain the idea of having an SR form filled out. So I download the SR form, fill it out, nice and great, cool, save it. Type the lyrics out on any word processor, save it. Make a nice fancy schmancy cover for that wonderful PDF because I think it's going to look really cool that it has some sort of cover. Sure. So now I put all those together as a PDF. Bear with me. And it's not the PDF that we're going to mint. What we're going to do is we're going to take the PDF and we're going to turn it into a GIF, an animated GIF, with a 10-second to 15-second delay between the lyrics, the SR form, and the cover. It's another good use for GIF, by the way. And the reason that we're doing this in GIF, I'll explain. So you have this GIF now that has the SR form filled out, has the lyrics, has a nice fancy schmancy cover, and now you mint to the blockchain the WAV file of the actual song into the blockchain, into Tezos or Solana or the like. And the reason why you need the GIF is because those also allow you to add, you're basically getting 2 for 1 mint there because you're getting the audio file minted, which is going to have all the metadata, by the way. You're going to do the metadata on your audio file itself. It's going to say the date that it was created. You can add all these tags, you know. And you can refer to the GIF file that's included with that WAV file that's going to contain the SR form. You mint that into Tezos. Costs you less than $0.25 to do it. And now you set up mints for, I don't know, $1. And now everybody can have a token or a token value of that song with you. And they can trade it, they can sell it, they can do all kinds of stuff with it. But what it does is it creates provenance. So for example, if I did a song, let's just say that I record, I don't know, a new thingamajig single, and I think it's going to be the thing, the one. So I make 500 tokens of this song and its copyright going with it, and fans can buy it. they can collect it, they can trade it. And I can even say, hey, every so often when I play a certain city, anyone who has that token, I'll come see you. You just have to, we'll figure out a way to prove that's you. But once you show up at the gig, I'll meet you backstage and we can talk. That could be an incentive. So, or, there's other incentives you can have. But the idea is you're not only making tokens, but what's happening is as everybody collects it and trades it, they're creating the provenance for you that token was created on that day, because every single token that is owned by the fans carries with it the same provenance of the same day of the same time that contract was initiated. So it has value. I feel that it has a lot of value to tokenize in that way. So the other side of this, of course, is something I've talked about with NFTs in general, is this utility idea. If people collect the said work and help you with the provenance to store it on their wallets, which again, it's a wonderful thing. And by the way, you can do this without going through the blockchain route, and I can explain that too. And in fact, I'm going to try it both ways because I want to make sure that the idea behind the ownership of the intellectual property is very clear. So you could do it without the blockchain too. So how would you do it without the blockchain? Okay, so without the blockchain, I would refer to Bandcamp. And this is how I would do it in Bandcamp. You obviously would post all the songs that are part of the recordings. And in the metadata of all those songs, you would put in the provenance that these were written by so-and-so, created on this day. All the metadata has to be there. That's important. And then you would upload a PDF with all the SR forms and everything else to your Bandcamp account. And that would be a hidden object that people could download if they bought the album. Of course, they'd be like, why is this page at the end of this PDF? Who cares? It's there. Now, would that work? Could it hold up in court? Well, that's where it gets interesting. Like I said, you're dealing with mutable versus immutable. On Bandcamp, I can still go in, change the WAV files that are uploaded. I can still go in and add a PDF or take away a PDF from the download, which means that technically speaking, it is still manipulable. It can be manipulated. Whereas if I do it on the blockchain, I can't. Even if I made an error in spelling and it's like, damn, the song, I spelled it wrong on the damn certificate. Too bad. It's wrong, so I got to mint it again. But the idea is it's immutable. It cannot be changed. And that's where I think it holds weight in court. That aspect of it is the part that's good. So storing it on your own site, sending it into, the Library of Congress, those are all things that can be manipulated. So let me put this in a different perspective. If I send in a copyright for a song to the Library of Congress and Disney sends 150,000 song ideas to the Library of Congress, who do you think gets priority as to whose wares they're going to log first? Because it's based on fees. So if Disney spends, let's say, $27,000 every 2 weeks on securing copyright over intellectual property, for whatever it is, could be a song idea, something that, So exactly, Wendy, that is what I messed up. Wendy Zach on Facebook says, is that what happened with those John McAfee ones? Yeah, I tried to make a token on, so I made a token on Tezos to be funny. And it was supposed to have the A-Box logo on it, but I was just trying shit out. And I put a picture of John McAfee on it. And without thinking, I hit mint. And I signed that contract. So now there are 72,000 NPOP with the ticker NPOP tokens that have John McAfee's picture on it. Didn't intend to do it. Newbie mistake. Shouldn't have been a newbie mistake, but I did it, and it's wrong. And what can I say? What can I tell you? So, yeah, Scott says trusting Congress is the first mistake. Exactly. The other part of that is that, remember what I said, it could take 3 to 6 months before you know that it got registered. So I'm just telling you, if you're an artist, if you're a painter, if you're a musician, if you're a poet, if you're writing a book, if you're writing a play and you're trying to figure out sorry, Tony Perez, I want one. Tony, if you're on X, DM me your Tezos wallet and I'll drop them in there. In fact, anybody who wants the McAfee Tezos, just I'll drop a link. Just do it. I think I sent Wendy 3,000 of them. So something like that. So you can collect them until I figure out the new ones. But the point I'm trying to make with that is that you can do it, you can preempt it all by minting it on the blockchain yourself. You can still send the SR form because you see you filled it out already. So all you have to do is send it in. It doesn't matter if it takes them 6 months. You have an immutable record. Theirs, on the other hand, is not. So it could come back to bite the government if you say, you know what, I sent it in certified mail and you lost it, but I have it on the Bitcoin blockchain or I have it on the Tezos blockchain. Do you know how scared shitless they're going to be? They're going to be scared shitless of this technology. They don't understand it. That's what I got out of the talk, is that these people that were talking about all this copyright stuff, they were concerned with the robots, but they weren't concerned with how we secure copyright in the first place, how that part is flawed. So to me, the best thing we can do among the artist community in Tezos or Solana or ETH or Bitcoin ordinals, whatever you want to do it in, because I think it doesn't matter which blockchain it's on. That's important to note too. It doesn't matter because all the ledgers are immutable. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. So artist A could be on Tezos, artist B could be on Ethereum. It won't matter. It would be nice to standardize it. And if I had my way, it would have to be something that's on chain. I hate to bring up coins that I don't typically follow, but BSV, for example, which is, I think, Satoshi Vision, right? BSV, that is on chain. So that could probably be a good one for that. If you wanted to standardize, that would be a good one to try. Solana and Tezos are not on chain, but they work off the interplanetary file system. So again, unless the entire internet goes down, it's stored. And that's regardless, of course, if there's an object.com or all that, because all the stuff, if you ever want to know, your tokens that are on your wallet can also be seen and found on the ledgers. So, you know what I mean? Even if you lose your wallet, if you just wanted to know where your tokens are, they're still on the ledger. So, the New World Order must be destroyed. Sorry. That was my cue. I'll drink to that. Let's play a song. Wow, we're going through too quick. Oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna drop a link at the bottom because I think we reached the past the halfway point, and I thought this would be fun for all of you to show you how little I don't, that it's not about the copyright issue. I'm going to give you something. Boom. Tonight only. You can have it. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to do anything. And I'll play it right now. It's a funny thing that I found on one of the DATs. It's a bit odd. Anyway, here it is. Oh, or there it was. I don't know what just happened. Oh, there it is.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody loves somebody. Don't you know by now that life is fun? Life is fun. Life is fun. Life is fun. Life is fun. Breakdown.
So, Rob, oh, look at that. Look at that. It just appeared. And if you subscribe now, like right now, I'm kidding. So, I'm just waiting for Frozen Claude to come back. It's like, but, yeah, anyway. So yeah, you can have that. I found that on an old DAT, and it's funny because, uh, Robert and I have been having this debate. He's like, you should need to put it on Bandcamp. I'm like, but it's a snippet. He's like, just put it on Bandcamp. And I'm like, I don't know. So we've been having this argument back and forth about this particular thing. But I'm glad that I went through all those ADAT tapes and all that stuff because I found some gold there that will show up in the 12-inch. So by the way, I remember I said I had a confession to make. Yeah. So I didn't make the deadline, but it's not because I didn't try. Look at this, man. This is just, we'll get back on the topic in a minute. These are my mix sheets for this entire week. Every single one of these is a song that I worked on in the studio for the album or the 12-inch, but mostly the 12-inch. All these notes, everything that's on here, it's like, these are I call these my mix or master track sheets. This is where I like set out a checklist of everything that has to be done to the song before it can be rendered out. 8 pages, man. So like I actually like worked really hard this week. I gotta hope that I get it done by next week now. But I'm so close. I'm almost at the end, and I'm happy about it being at the end because it means that it's gonna come out sooner than ever. So anyways, I know life is fun until your chair breaks. Thank you. Thank you for that. So anyway, getting back to the topic at hand here. Provenance is really important to me. For the visual side and for the music IP side. Coming from someone that gave it away the first time out, because the first time out when I was young, I just signed off on it. So someone else owns my masters. And to me, that was the biggest crime that I ever committed to myself, was to give up my masters. So the reason that I fight for this so much is because I don't want you to have the feeling that I had when I lost them, or the feeling that I get when I, like play a video and it gets demonetized because it happens to have a song that I wrote in 1989 that I stupidly gave away to someone else. And that corporation, takes their little 7 cents from me and without any kind of royalty payment. So to me, this copyright issue is more about ownership of masters and things that you can do with your masters. And it may seem silly to some people, but the actual act of securing your copyright and tokenizing that copyright can be a source of income for some well-meaning creators. And so I think that that's valuable and that it should be pursued by every creative. So this week, I'm going to try to make time to write an entire article on how to do it. And I'm going to do it as an example. Take a track that I've recently recorded, and I'm going to do that so that you can see how it's done. But of course, I have to finish the 12-inch first because it's more important. And I've got shows. Berwyn is next, and I'm really happy about that. So that's going to be fun. And I think I said that already when the show's things start. I don't know what the hell this is, but it's just me babbling. But yeah. And look, I'm going to be honest here. Scott says, not silly. What's yours is yours, and corporate turds trying to make money off of others' hard work. Okay, I'm going to address that too. I have nothing against sharing revenue with a bigger entity. Like if a corporation says, hey, I want to use your song in this movie and we're going to make this deal and this is how much you're going to get and this is all is fine. Take deals. You should be taking deals when they come your way. Don't turn down opportunities, obviously, but make them worth your while. And this is the part that really hit home for me today, because I can't even believe this was brought up in NAMM. In NAMM, of all places, I did not expect to see weird stuff about UBI and all that. The 15-minute cities, WEF, CBDC kind of shit come into a discussion about the future of the music business was not on my bingo card, but it was there. What I keep seeing in these weird little presentation is it's the same little mantra, which I think of it as planting seeds in your head. If you're creative, you're not going to make any money from this stuff. So you might as well make content from your YouTube and your social media channels and monetize that. But don't monetize your actual intellectual property, your songs, your poems, because nobody makes a living from that. And eventually, we're going to get to this world where the machines take all the jobs that are for creatives, and this could be true, and therefore we're going to have to have a system in place in government where everybody gets a monthly stipend or a universal basic income to offset this so that you can be a creator and do your YouTube channel and do all that stuff. All you have to give up is just this little piece of your soul. That's all. It's just a little piece of your soul. You give this little piece of your soul up, and it's all good. We'll give you money. We'll give you free stuff. But there's a price to be paid for that. And that price is your freedom, your sovereignty as a creator, which means I created something. It's up to me whether I want to sell it, give it away, do whatever the hell I want with it. Maybe I want to keep it in a book and never have anyone see the light of day. That's my choice. Maybe we will get to a place where these systems of governance will change and become something that's more akin to smaller and smaller, emphasis on smaller communities that govern each other. And I think in the future, that's probably better than any other system that's out in the world. But going down the socialist/communist route just to, quote, make everything equitable for everyone so that you don't own intellectual property, not going to happen. Not on my watch. Like, I'm not going to do it. And so, yes, I want you to protect your intellectual property. Yes, I want you to fight for your intellectual property. I think it's important. You need to fight for your stuff. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Or am I? Yeah. Oh, whatever. I don't care. Exactly. So, anyway, the way AI fits into all of this and why I feel so strongly against certain aspects of AI art and all this other stuff is that the companies that are making the AIs, the corporate people that are just thinking of the licensing fees that they're going to collect when people use the tools is what's driving them. They're not driven by technological advancement of the human race and making all our lives easier. Don't be fooled by that because it's not true. They're not doing it for your benefit. They're doing it for the benefit of the fact that they can collect more revenue. If a big corporation with 40,000 employees all sign up for a subscription to their AI service so that the AI can write reports for them and generate designs for them and all that stuff, that saves them a shit ton of money on employees. That's the bottom line. That's all that's going to happen. You're going to have a bunch of people that are unemployed. So I think it's time for artists to unionize on all levels. Visual, music, sculpture, acting, one big unified artistic front which represents the artist and the blockchain. Because that's how we fight. And it has to start today, not tomorrow, not a week from now. If you're an artist, you need to get your ass moving on this stuff, man. Like, I can't even stress it enough. This is action time. This isn't like, you need to tell the world about the blah, 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 because information is... It's not about information anymore. It's about action. We need to take actions. So you bet I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out every way, possible shape that you can protect your intellectual property. And this won't be the last time that we talk about this subject. I promise you. It will not be the last time because I care about it. I care about you. I care about the art you make, the music that you make. You should be able to make a living from it if you want to. That's up to you, not some other body to decide. It's your decision. So stand up for your stuff. Anyway, let's play some music. Best we do it. Whoops.
You can hide your precious tears, but it won't get rid of all regrets. All the colors of the fall won't lend a hand when you decide to fall. So clear away the scars that were left behind by things you hate. Will you ever love again? After all the dirt is gone, wash away the dirt. Let your feelings hurt. Drive away the shame. Be yourself again. All this grind is just a sham. The icing on a cake made of sand, now becoming dust. Where you came from, you will surely go. Wash away the dirt. Let your feelings hurt. Drive away the shame. Be yourself again. Wash away the dirt. Wash away
think it's funny that the chair's like, it's not really broken. I think the hydraulics acting funky. So I don't know, like what the heck's going on with it. Thank you. Well, I'm going raspy as I'm speaking. Does that count? So anyway, yeah, it's a little wonky here today because, like I said, the studio has been moved around a little bit so that I could work on mixing and mastering, which requires a different sort of setup than the stream. But all is well. So we're almost to the end. And as usual, I try to leave you with a positive message, even if the subject matter is a bit on the dark side. But I guess it's because I'm passionate about this subject because I gave up part of my intellectual property when I was young. And I don't want to see other people do it. And I don't want to see you, because of brash mistakes, not take the steps that you need to secure your copyrights. So anyway, but do what you can to protect your intellectual property, whatever it takes. Write to your senator. Do it, man. Anyway, I'm gonna play music to the end now because I feel like that's all I've had to say. We're getting near the end. I've got two more. I think I'll just play them. I'll play one more, and then I've got a funny one that everyone's been asking me to play, and I couldn't find it for like till the end of time. I couldn't find it, and I did this time out. So, but anyway, here we can just keep chatting, and I'll just up.
Grips me and turns me again. My time is distorted at times like these. These hours are spent in the warmth of the fire that just endlessly burns. Something inside me, my heart cries. Your eyes will cry again, like they did some years before. And now it seems to me I've got to go across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley of so much ache from inside. I'm trapped in my destiny's tide. I'm forced to the point where I can't go back to you. Life is so full with desires. I feel so suppressed by your smile. Makes me forget what I had to say. Your eyes will cry again, like they did some years before, when everything sadness in you. But all I can do is just watch you leave. It's just watch you leave. Across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair.
Yeah, that's where we are. Anyway, thank you so much for being here tonight and for accepting my rants and raving on this subject. It's dear to me. Um, Next week, I don't know what we're going to do next week. I don't know, but you can give me ideas for topics. You can always drop them in the comments on the video when you see it tomorrow, or if you're watching it, you can drop comments. You could follow on X. I'm always on X. I don't know why I'm always on X, but X is just the easiest one for me to grab because it's the only app that's on my phone, believe it or not. So on occasion, I'll just grab X when I'm on a break or I'm in the computer. So you can follow me at npop on X. Any topics that you'd like to discuss, or if you just want to chat in general, or you want to drop some comments and ask questions, I love it. I will totally give you my I know playing obscure locations that normally get shows. I know I want to anyway. I want to do that as much as possible. Sadly though, it's not up to me. I wish it was, but it's not. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Costa Rica. Absolutely. Especially, yeah, and Berwyn. But Carlos mode. Sorry, I just butchered your name, Carlos. Good and listening show tonight. Thank you so much. But anyway, yeah, the chair is working now because I went up. This is hilarious. It keeps happening, man. Anyway, I'm gonna let you all go with one last track. People have been asking for me to play this one for a while now, and it's from the Ascension EP, which was the very first EP that we had. But this song was only available on the very first 12-inch of Living in Oblivion that we ever had, of which there was only 2 copies, by the way, believe it or not. And so I digress. Oh, look what I did while I was away. It's going to be a fun night in the studio once I'm done over here. You know that, right? I know. I do declare, I'm telling you right now, I declare that this week, abso-frickin-lutely, the 12-inch will be on its merry way. Everything is done. The last stage is set. And I'm really happy with the material. Like, I mean, I'm so excited. I wish I could tell you everything that's on it and what it is and what it entails, but you will have fun. I promise. But I do declare that things are going to get better all the way around. I'm happy, actually. We got shows coming up. I'm making more art. I've got like projects up to keep me busy for a while. So I'm happy. I'm always happy when I'm creating. You know that, right? So as long as I get to create stuff and pay my bills, of course, I'm good. So anyway, and yeah, by the way, no one ever asks, but I'm going to tell you something. Still wine talking. I am full-time artist. There is no outside. This is all I do. I am 100% full-time and have been since 2017. Before that, there was some craziness that happened in life, but Since 2017, I've been 100% full on, even during the pandemic, which was crazy enough. So, anyway, I will see you in Berwyn, Austin, Dallas, and I think there's even an El Paso coming soon too, and maybe even more. And of course, Austin. I can't wait. I am happy. All right, it's time to go. So I'm going to time to go it.
Then a thought came to me. And you know, we must have this plan right. We must, hour by hour, relentless. Then a thought came to me.
that. Good night.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?